Donald Trump is doing America a big favor by dismantling the Department of Education. The most important reason, other than to get rid of the waste in government, is that the Department of Education promotes Marxism and teaches young people Marxism is the way to go in our schools. There's no better place to see it than on the Escondido City Council where I live. We got a new city council member. I think we're District 4. And she has proven that she has a Marxist anti-white agenda. Go figure. And you can tell me her husband is white and yeah, he probably goes along with it too, because in the younger generations, we've had a monumental dumbing down of America, deliberate dumbing down of America by socialists, communists, Marxists, multiculturalists. It's all under the same umbrella because it all is against America, capitalism, Western civilization, and Christianity. Our former city council member who retired was Mike Morosco. I went to high school with him at Orange Glen High School. I voted for class president for him even then, and his future wife was Pam Marler, who was a cheerleader. I can remember them as plain as day. He did a good job on the council because he's intelligent. He's a physical therapist by training, and he is a doctor. He knows how to make good decisions. Now, Judy Fitzgerald was endorsed by the Republican Party in San Diego. She's an immigrant's daughter. Oh boy, she's special. La cucaracha, let's go. And she was a former police officer. I know a lot of dirty things that went on in Oceanside regarding drugs because I used to volunteer in social services over there. And she owns her own business, a gym. I'll bet you she can't tell you anything about the books. It's probably her husband, because if she had any business acumen at all, she wouldn't be making decisions like this. She gets into office, and by the way, you can no longer find those previous city council meetings online. They have conveniently disappeared. She gets on at her first meeting after getting elected, and she's pretty, so she beat out the old white guy. And she says she is going to promote multiculturalism, and she lets everyone know there's a Latino film festival at the mall. She's got it going on, baby. When I went to Carl DeMaio's, he's our assemblyman, to his barbecue he had a couple of years ago, everyone in attendance in that big room to meet the candidates, except not Miss Fitzgerald, she wasn't there, was over 60 and white. There was one young couple that was white, and they were military. So the smart thing to do is to push everybody else in the city, give them money, freebies, attention, except for white people. That's the smart way to go. And sadly, the voters are probably so badly informed, they'll probably vote her back in again. I wouldn't be surprised because she's pretty and she owns a gym. She belongs to the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce is a lobbying group for small business owners. They have undue influence on our politicians around here. And it's international. I am against anything that says global, international, because I suspect they're on the take, trying to get bigger and bigger and bigger and have more control around the world. That's just me. So the next thing, the wonderful thing, is that Miss Fitzgerald, who ran as a Republican, I guess, or no party, I guess, gave an award at a city council meeting to a really cute young black lady who goes to some obscure church at the mall, Bacharach or something like that, and she gets an award at a city council meeting for Escondido because she contributed to the victims of the fires in Los Angeles. Now, my thinking may be off, but shouldn't the city of Los Angeles be giving out awards for helping the fire victims? Why is Ms. Fitzgerald giving this very cute and sweet young lady? I'm glad she got an award. It's not about the young lady. It's about Ms. Fitzgerald's ideology, because that girl was given the award because she's black. And I didn't even hear what exactly the young lady did. It's, you're black, you get an award. It's the same thing as the participation trophy. Oh no, she didn't stop there. Hold on. She didn't stop there. Then the Paula Band of Mission Indians wanted the city of Escondido, and last I heard they were dead broke and have been for years. They don't even have any clerks in city council, the city hall anymore. You talk on a phone, at least in the housing division, because they can't afford it. The Paula Band of Mission Indians asked them to pay $62,000 for an indigenous festival in Great Day Park. And of course we have May Day, which is socialist festivals on May 1st every year, so why not have the Indians join in, and to make up for all their grievances against us, give them 62 grand. Well, one city council member refused to vote, because really, she doesn't have the guts to stand up and say, I'm not giving them that much money, it's too much, we can't afford it. Oh no, we gotta stroke the minorities and make them feel all warm and fuzzy. So the only information I can find is that they voted to give that $62,000 to the Indians, with the stipulation it's a one-time payment, and in the future they'll have to pay for their own festivities at the park. Well, I was married to an American Indian that was living up near Paula when I met him. I spent 4 years as a teenager in the last house before you went down onto the reservation. And my daughter is half Indian. Isn't that great? She is probably the first indigenous person in San Diego to work as a 911 dispatcher. That's what my guess would be. So this has been in the San Diego Tribune for years, that the Paula Band of Mission Indians, I'll just say the Indians, and I think there were some Kumai in there as well, own the casinos out there. And the members, the tribal members that are enrolled in certain tribes, get a cut of the profits. I knew one guy named Tony out there, and he was the groundskeeper for Camp Pendleton. He worked there for years because he wanted to make the place nice for the soldiers. He was one of the Indians that got a cut of the casino profits, and he was really wealthy. He owned a huge 2-story house, beautiful new house on the reservation. He didn't need money. Miss Fitzgerald has said on video, which I can't find right now, that the Indians have donated a lot of money. And so it's only fair, this is to paraphrase, that the city give back. in the form of $62,000. Well, the reason why the Paula Indians donate to the libraries and stuff like that, they're very generous, is because they're extremely wealthy. They not only own the casinos, they have several other businesses like a gym and stuff like that. They got money. The Indians that are poor on the reservation aren't the members that are enrolled in that certain tribe. And they're early on, when they first started having the profits rolling in, some of the Indians were killing each other because they didn't want them on the enrollment to get the money. So it's been interesting. The reason they're allowed to have those casinos, according to the San Diego Tribune, is because they give kickbacks to the Democrat Party. So it was it a 4-0 vote? 1, 2, 3. I think it was a 4-0 vote. Consuelo Martinez abstained from voting one way or another. So it looks like the only thing I can find is that $62,000 was given to the Indians while they paid $10,000. Now here's my thing. I went to the powwows and I watched the powwows on YouTube, and they have these beautiful ceremonies with very beautiful native dress, and they don't pay anywhere near $72,000, and this is their tradition. As far as I know, these festivals is something more in line with a white culture. I just have never heard of it. They usually have powwows where they honor veterans. I mean, they're really nice. They let anybody join in, whether you're white, young, old. They have babies in little native dress running along beside them. They have senior citizens in wheelchairs dressed in the native dress. They do include everyone. And that is inclusion, not this fake Marxist DEI stuff. And so what's the big deal? Well, the Indians cheated the taxpayers of Escondido out of 62 grand because the city council let them do it. And you can bet they're going to promote every left-wing DEI. The Indians, the Indians can do great representing themselves. They have beautiful powwows over at CSU San Marcos, and they sell the fry bread. They got it going on. But, you know, we have to support the poor Indians because of what the white people do to them. And you can bet your tail end, they aren't, even though our mayor is white, they aren't going to support one festivity that has anything to do with our founding fathers or anybody white. It's just an anti-white agenda because Judy's got it going on. She knows a little more than you do, and she's pretty. So the city clerk is Zach Beck, and he gets up to say the prayer, and he always says, "Thank you, God, for this diversity, and we support a diverse community." That is having his own people hand over their profits, their land, their city council, the country they built, having white people, encouraging white people to hand it all over to the real wink wink Americans, the American Indians, the Mexicans, who, by the way, the illegal aliens have very high crime. Now, why does Trump want to dismantle the Department of Education? Because they are promoting Marxism, and Judy Fitzgerald is at least smart enough not to call it Marxism. Most Marxists are, because people don't like it. They know Marxist is a word that means anti-white, anti-American. So this is a paper on cultural Marxism by William S. Lund. He is the, Lind, and he is the director for the Center for Cultural Conservatism of the Free Congress Foundation. I don't know what I did with my glasses. But to paraphrase, he says that the cultural Marxism is a branch of Western Marxism, and it is different from the old Soviet Union stuff. It's commonly known as multiculturalism. Now, Judy gets right up there at meetings, and I'm going to be recording some of that and putting it on YouTube, since for some reason this crap is disappearing off YouTube and not on the website. So she is pushing multiculturalism, or less formally, political correctness, thought police. You can't call them Indians, you have to call them Native Americans. Even though they weren't native to America, they were native to the land before it became America and was settled by white settlers. We can't have white people anymore. Oh, no, it's not cool. From its beginning, the promoters of cultural Marxism knew they could be more effective if they concealed the Marxist nature of their work. Hence, they use wink, wink, multiculturalism. Oh, yeah, La Bamba, baby. Multicultural Marxism began not in the 60s, but in 1919, immediately after World War I. Marxist theory has predicted that in the event of a big European war, the working class all over Europe will rise up to overthrow capitalism and create communism. Well, what's wrong with that? Take a look at Lisa See's, S-E-E, books called Shanghai Girls and Dreams of Joy. In it, they describe what happened when Chairman Mao Zedong, took over China. At first had everyone, oh, we're for the people, eat freely, just before the government took all the food. And millions of people starved to death. They were eating their own babies. And my great-grandfather, Reverend Dr. Ernest Samuel Lyons, a retired missionary in Los Angeles, started a Methodist Chinese church in Chinatown to give aid and comfort to the Chinese who were escaping and coming to America, sometimes illegally stowed away on board ships coming here to escape what Chairman Mao was doing. Read about Venezuela, same thing. They were eating their pets and breaking into stores. They couldn't get food. But the people on the city council, particularly a white mayor who probably learned this stuff in school, is right there promoting it, right there praying for it. The purpose of all this, and it says right here on the paper, is to get rid of Western civilization and Christianity. And if you know anything about America, you know that there is a breakdown of both of those things. Thank you for joining me. Pass this along to anybody you know who's in North San Diego County, particularly Escondido. We've got to save the city council members from themselves. Thanks.